Different date, same fate. I'ma knock out Jake Paul.
Yeah?
Where's the first guy?
Yeah.
All right,
You got ice on your chest?
You know where you are? You know what state you're in? Yeah, California. Okay. What city are you in? Calabasas.
No way I would want to do that.
Oh, yo, paramedic.
Yeah.
Before we go, I just want to tell
Mike Tyson just went and broke Jake Paul's ribs right after Jake announced he was canceling their fight. Now you might be thinking, wait, didn't Mike postpone the fight? So how did he get his hands on Jake's neck? Well, Tyson doesn't need a fancy four-sided ring to deliver a beatdown. The moment Jake announced he was switching to fight Mike Perry, Tyson decided to drop by his training camp for a little visit. And what happened next was a full-blown saga of epic proportions. What's interesting is that no news channel or YouTube channel has even covered this bombshell, so let me be the first one. As we all know, Jake Paul was practically obsessed with fighting Mike Tyson, like this guy was ready to go all in. But then, out of nowhere, he announces he's pulling out of the fight.
Yeah, the news is true, folks. I, Jake Paul, will be fighting Mike Perry, Tampa, Florida, July 20th.
Well, let me break it down for you without any fluff. So, after Jake announced he was fighting Tyson, he got roasted. And I mean roasted. Every boxing expert and their dog had something to say, and none of it was good. Then, Tyson released his training footage. That was the final nail in the coffin. See, Jake thought he was prepping for a fun little exhibition match. Meanwhile, Tyson's trainer, Rafael Cordero, let it slip that Mike was training like he was gearing up for the fight of his life. And that's when Jake started sweating bullets. He tried to hit the gym a bit harder, but let's be real, he was already shaking in his boots.
Different date, same fate. I'ma knock out Jake Paul.
Now, if you got a chance to bail out of something that could practically end you, wouldn't you take it? Yup, Jake got that golden ticket when Tyson had to postpone the fight. Jake figured he'd just ride the wave of fame, dirty or clean, from the previous hype and switch to fighting someone else. But Mike Tyson wasn't having any of that. He decided to teach Jake the lesson he was saving for the ring, right then and there. But let's rewind a bit. What was going on with Tyson around that time? On June 5th, 2024, reports came out that Tyson had a severe ulcer flare-up. And we're not talking a little tummy ache. This was serious. It happened mid-flight from LA to New York. Tyson started feeling this intense abdominal pain, and it got so bad that the flight attendants had to step in. As soon as they landed, Tyson was rushed to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with an acute ulcer flare-up. Tyson, the boxing legend, being wheeled out of the airport in a wheelchair looking like he'd just been through a war.
No way, I did everything I was entitled to do in my career. There's nothing I regret.
Fans were shocked. This was Iron Mike, the guy who seemed invincible. The news spread fast, and everyone was questioning if he could keep training and make it to the rescheduled fight. Tyson's health issue wasn't something to mess around with. Ulcers can cause serious complications like internal bleeding and perforation of the stomach lining. His medical team was on high alert, making sure he got the best care. Tyson had to adjust his training big time. No more intense sparring or heavy bag work. His regimen became all about light cardio and technique, with a lot of emphasis on rest and recovery. Even though he was dealing with this health scare, Tyson was determined to keep going. His team put together a plan to manage his condition, including diet changes and medication. Tyson had to avoid foods that could make his ulcers worse and take meds to help his stomach heal. Despite these setbacks, Tyson kept his eye on the prize. He was still training, albeit in a modified way, showing his legendary dedication to the sport. Fans and the boxing community were both worried and impressed. Tyson's ability to push through such a tough situation was a testament to his unbreakable spirit. The news about Tyson's ulcer also sparked a lot of talk about the pressures faced by pro athletes. The intense training and high-stakes competition can really take a toll on their health. Tyson's condition highlighted the importance of a balanced approach to training and listening to your body, as you can see how hard he was training.
One more. Day 3. You still want to with me?
In the weeks following the incident, Tyson's recovery went well. His medical team made sure he stuck to his treatment plan, and Tyson himself took all the necessary precautions. While his training wasn't as hardcore as before, his focus and dedication didn't waver. The media kept a close eye on Tyson's health, speculating about how it would impact the fight with Jake Paul. Would Tyson be able to compete at his usual level? This question added even more intrigue to the upcoming bout. But Tyson remained optimistic, assuring fans that he was on the mend and ready to take on Paul. "I've faced tougher battles in my life," Tyson said, "and this is just another one I'll overcome." His words struck a chord with fans who saw his determination as a source of inspiration. Now, Tyson's move to reschedule wasn't just about setting a date. It was a loud and clear message that boxing isn't some game where you can just bail when you feel like it. No, sir. Once you're in, you're in. Tyson wasn't about to let Paul, who had been begging for this fight for 2 whole years, just walk away. Jake wanted this fight. He begged for it for 2 years. Now that he has it, he can't just walk away, Tyson declared, probably while giving his best death stare. Tyson was here to make sure Jake understood that once you've made a promise in the ring, you stick to it. November 15th was now D-Day, the moment everyone was waiting for, the showdown of all showdowns. Tyson's determination wasn't just about teaching Paul a lesson, but about showing the world what it means to truly respect the sport of boxing. Jake Paul's decision to pull the plug on his fight with Mike Tyson was a hot mess of overconfidence, public pressure, and a dash of reality check. At first, Jake was all in, dreaming of the day he'd stand victorious over one of boxing's greatest legends. He was practically foaming at the mouth with the thought of that headline-grabbing, reputation-boosting win. But then, reality hit him harder than any right hook could. First off, Jake was terrified of the public backlash. As you can see his reaction here.
I know it's going to be tough. I know I'm going to have to fight through adversity. I know I might even go to the canvas. I'm scared, don't get me wrong, but it's not about the fear stopping me. It's about going into it even though I am scared, and that's what true bravery is.
Sure, he loves to play the big, bad, confident guy, but deep down, he knew what was up. With Tyson's severe ulcer flare-up making headlines and the old champ ending up in the hospital, the optics were all wrong. Imagine Jake knocking out a visibly sick Tyson. No way that would earn him any respect. More likely, he'd be crucified as the guy who exploited an ailing legend for a quick win. Not a good look, right? Originally, Jake was riding high on a wave of ambition and, let's face it, a hefty dose of naivety. He had this vision of himself standing over Tyson, victorious and basking in the glory. The idea of beating a legend like Tyson was too tempting to resist. But as the details of Tyson's condition trickled out, intense pain, emergency hospital visits, Jake's dreams started to crumble. Winning under these circumstances wouldn't be a triumph, it'd be a farce. And then there's the whole sportsmanship angle. Despite his brash persona, Jake does want to be taken seriously in the boxing world. He knew that fighting an unwell Tyson would just undermine all his efforts to earn respect. A fair and square fight was way more important to him than a hollow victory. Making the decision to cancel the fight wasn't easy. Jake mulled it over, probably losing sleep and consulting his closest advisors. But in the end, the fear of looking like he was taking advantage of Tyson's condition and the desire to maintain the integrity of the sport won out. On June 10, 2024, Jake announced he was pulling out, citing concerns about Tyson's health and the spirit of fair competition. So our boy Jake didn't want to fade into obscurity, so he was quick to find a new opponent to keep the spotlight shining bright on him. Enter Mike Perry, a seasoned fighter with an aggressive style that screams, "I mean business." Jake, ever the attention seeker, knew he had to strike while the iron was hot. The hype from the Tyson fight had catapulted him into the boxing stratosphere, and he wasn't about to let that momentum die down. Facing Perry, known for his intense, hard-hitting bouts, was Jake's golden ticket to proving his resilience and adaptability. So, on June 12, 2024, the negotiations kicked off, and both camps were itching to seal the deal. Now Paul's management team, led by Nakisa Badarian, knew they had to lock in a credible opponent fast to keep the fans and media hooked. Perry, seeing a chance to step into the limelight and punch one of the most talked-about guys in boxing, was all in. They both knew this wasn't just about boxing. It was about putting on a show that would capture everyone's imagination. One of the biggest talking points was the venue. Both fighters had solid fan bases, so they needed a spot that could handle the hype and media frenzy. By June 15, 2024, they settled on the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, a place synonymous with legendary boxing events. This choice only amped up the excitement and underscored the fight's significance. But Mike Tyson wasn't too nice to let him walk away. His epic punch on July 8, 2024, left Jake Paul in a world of hurt that even his wildest antics couldn't have prepared him for. This wasn't just any punch. This was a Tyson special, a blow with the kind of force and precision that could rearrange your entire life.
Yeah?
Where's the first?
Yeah.
All right.
You got
solar
ice on your
plexus.
chest?
You know where you are? You know what state you're in?
Yeah, California.
Okay. What city are you in?
No way I would want to do that too.
Yo, paramedic.
Yeah.
Before we go,
Right after the punch landed, it was clear Jake was in bad shape. We're talking immediate swelling, intense pain, and a whole lot of stumbling around like he'd just gotten off a roller coaster. That punch cracked Jake's rib, and he also got himself a mild concussion from the sheer force of it. During his hospital stay, Jake had a steady stream of visitors. His brother Logan was practically glued to his side, offering emotional support and helping Jake cope with the whole ordeal. Usually, these two are all about the bravado, but there were some serious, reflective moments as they processed what had gone down. Of course, once the news broke, the media went into a frenzy. The hospital had to ramp up security to keep the paparazzi at bay, allowing only close family and medical staff near Jake. Despite the best efforts to keep things under wraps, updates kept leaking out, feeding the public's insatiable curiosity. On July 15, 2024, exactly a week after the punch, Jake was released from the hospital. He left with a detailed recovery plan, pain management, physical therapy, and regular checkups to ensure everything was healing properly. His jaw would need several weeks to fully mend, and the concussion symptoms had to be monitored closely. Don't you think Mike did the right thing? Was Jake asking for it, or was Tyson out of line? I want to hear all your thoughts and insights, so drop them in the comments below.